everybody, I'm Mike from the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike podcast, and this is another live music performance, commentary, reaction, analysis, whatever you want to call it. And this is a performance from the early 90s by Nirvana on their MTV Unplugged. This is a cover of Where Did You Sleep Last Night, originally popularized by, grassroots blues folk musician Leadbelly. I mentioned on the Pearl Jam Unplugged that I did that my background in the early 90s musically was I was very much into sleaze, glam, hair, metal. That was very much my scene. And I really didn't like grunge when it came along. I felt like it kind of killed the party, you know? I was a pretty carefree teen. So I related more to the Motley Crues and the Poisons and the Cinderellas of this and the Aerosmiths of this world than I did the Stone Temple Pilots or the Mudhoney's. So yeah, I feel like this kind of killed the scene a little bit. So I had a real attitude about grunge music for the longest time, but obviously now, you know, having matured, the long hair, the hair has gone now. So I'm kind of going back and looking at some of these performances now with the freshness and the objectivity of time. So let's take a look at that. I'm just going to let this run. I've got to warn you, anybody who's watching this channel for the first time, that I do stop the videos, I do talk over them. So if you haven't seen this performance before, I would recommend that you don't learn from my terrible example and that you go and watch this first. But I am going to just hit play and comment and respond as I go. So let's do this.
My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, when did you sleep last night?
A couple of things right off the bat. Looks like we got Pat Smear from The Germs there. And, you know, I mean, it's now obviously, I mean, Kurt Cobain is so iconic. You know, this image here of Kurt Cobain itself is iconic. So it's kind of surreal now going back and watching this after all this time and seeing, you know, that it's real people and they are just sitting around and they're just playing an old song. And it's got that great, dark, somber, funereal kind of lilt to it. And you've got already, you know, Kurt Cobain's incredible, almost gritted teeth sound, almost like a kind of yodel sound to the way that he's performing it. Are these really kind of simple, kind of dirgy, quite gothically macabre chords. So yeah, straight away it creates a real impression, doesn't it?
In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through. My girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through.
That groove there at the end, that's Night Through, is really amazing. And a couple of other things as well. Got a cello, got a cellist, which again adds to the gothic kind of darkness. Got Dave Grohl, looks like he's got there's drumsticks where it's like the thin, almost kind of like bound, bamboo-ish kind of light sticks, because, you know, he's a very heavy drummer, so I guess that helps sort of take the edge off it a little bit. And also, I love the fact that Kurt Cobain's sitting in an office chair as well. You know, there's just something wonderfully curmudgeonly, endearingly amateurish about that. And the way he kind of looks around at the band, he doesn't cue them in. He's kind of like, "Are you going to start playing now?" And then they come in, and it just adds to it. And they're all doing their part. And for a punk rock group, it's kind of amazing to see the level of control and restraint that they've got. You know, make no mistake, they're great musicians. They had a lot of road miles under them at this point. It's really amazing seeing a group step up to that next level. I mean, I remember this show happening, and I remember how revelatory it was that this group, who were known for feedback and caterwailing, doing this thing that felt like it existed more almost in the realm of REM or groups like that. It felt like a real coming of age and a really important moment in the early 90s. And the fact that they're finishing this performance, I believe this was the last song, with this really old kind of, I guess, murder ballad, really does say a lot. And they would go on after this, but I do remember this performance, this whole show, being kind of held up as a bit of a swan song, and also a bit of a tragedy of what could have been. The fact that Nirvana, maybe not Nirvana, but certainly Kurt Cobain, would have evolved into something else. And I think this is a very tantalizing glimpse of what could have been.
Her husband was a hard-working man, just about a mile from here. His head was found in a driving wheel, but his body never was found.
Wow.
My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me
It's got this driving feeling. It makes you want to go like this when you're hearing it.
in the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I would shiver the whole night through.
Nice socks there, Pat. So dark. It does feel like a wake or a funeral, or it's just a real feeling of death hanging over this song.
Girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines,
Wow.
where the sun don't ever shine. I would shiver the whole night through. My
Yodel.
girl, don't lie to me.
Whoa.
Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I would shiver the whole night through. My girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, sun, the shine, I shiver. Oh, night through.
Whoa. Wow. Oh my god. It's like a dark reprise. Wow, that was really powerful. I mean, where to start on that one? I mean, I seem to remember that there were a lot of rumors at the time about fidelity in Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love's relationship. So I don't know whether this is speaking to that, whether there is some kind of not autobiographical because it's a cover, but a kind of a assumed autobiography there. But really, I think the big thing there is when he goes into that wail at the end, it feels like just, the scream of addiction, and fear and confusion and love and desperation and all of those things. And there's a moment there that's actually pretty chilling. I mean, obviously, I'm saying this with hindsight, but let me try and find the moment. Where is it? I mean, that look. He looks like he's seen a ghost or something, or he's had some, I don't know, kind of an epiphany or something. And I've seen this before. I mentioned this when I was watching a performance and this is going to seem like a really strange comparison, by Prince, where I think that there's a moment of transcendence that some musicians and artists feel when they're just absolutely at the top of what they're doing, and they're, I guess, for want of a better phrase, in the zone, and they have this moment where there's this kind of almost possession that occurs, and that's what I'm seeing here. It's like he doesn't know what's happening, and it's as though he's broken out of a dream or something. I can't articulate it. It's one of those great artistic things where you don't know what it means, but you understand it, and it almost seems spontaneous. Like he holds that note, and you can hear the band going into the next chord, but he just brings all of the restraint that had gone on earlier in the song just pays off in this kind of catawail of just pure pain. Holds that note. And it's almost triumphant when we go into this reprise. I almost expect to see like credits roll. It's so cinematic. And the edge that that cello gives it, it's a kind of air of respectability because it's a classical instrument, but it's been played in such a dark, morbid way. Wow, yeah. That's amazing. That's just one of the all-time great live performances right there. So, grunge music. What next? Stone Temple Pilots. They're a band I know virtually nothing about, and I believe they did an MTV Unplugged as well. So let me know, should I watch that as well? Quick reminder to check out the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike, the audio podcast that shares his feed, and also the other music, film, TV, general pop culture analysis, reaction, reviews that are also on this channel as well. So please do check those out. And also please do comment and like and subscribe and do all of those things that we are used to doing on YouTube. So thank you, and see you again soon.